state of steel in 2024. I've been doing the state of cartridges and stuff. And with the state of steel, today after work, the other job, I stopped by Cabela's. It was on the way home. I have a fairly long commute, and I sometimes just like to stop somewhere and walk around to clear my head. And I didn't really need a whole lot, but I saw some steel target stands. And they're less than $20. They're a good target stand, like a shepherd's hook, and you just hang steel plates on them. And that really kind of hit me as thinking back of how far we've come. See, it wasn't that long ago where I would make my own target stands. Not because I really like to make stuff. Sometimes I do, but not a target stand that I'm just going to destroy. Because you kind of had to. It used to be that I would just buy sawhorses from Home Depot or wherever, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, whatever. I would buy sawhorses and chains and S-hooks or bolts, and I would suspend steel plates in the sawhorses, which is okay. It works fine. But one is much more expensive, much bulkier, and more of a pain in the butt, and takes more time and effort that I could, and resources that I could spend shooting it on ammo. How far we've come. In mainstream stores, even at Walmart, there are steel targets. Even at Walmart, there are steel plates, hardened steel plates for shooting. That's to think of how far that shooting culture has come in a short amount of time. It wasn't that long ago where I had to go to either a competition or a specialty law enforcement range to even see steel targets. Now they're all over the place. Again, you can get them at Walmart. They have decent target stands for $20 at Cabela's. The whole shooting culture has kind of changed and shifted. And steel targets aren't the best for everything. If you're zeroing in a rifle, you probably want paper. If you're shooting really close, generally, and you have to look with your manufacturer, but generally the safe distance for shooting steel is about 10 yards. So if you're going to shoot closer than that, you may not want to shoot steel. Some targets that are angled and stuff are different if they use like carriage bolts and they're angled down. But generally it's about 10 yards. Check with the manufacturer. But that's generally the safe distance. If you're going to shoot closer, like CQB type stuff, you either need to shoot paper or something else, or you need to get some old tire rubber and have it cut up and hang it in front of the steel target so the bullets can go through, but they can't bounce back. They'll have enough force to go through, and they'll deform, and they won't be able to get back through the rubber. That is a thing. If you feel like taking on a project, you can, do that for yourself. But in general, steel targets aren't the best for some things, but they're really, really good. They're really minimal and just what you need to take care of them. A can of that cheap white spray paint, goes a long way, or black spray paint or whatever. You can buy the bright stuff too, but it's way more expensive. And if you shoot a lot, it's easier to get the white or the black spray paint. It's just far cheaper in the spray paint. But that's basically it, right? And a target stand, and it's probably even cheaper than paper in the long run, because even paper targets, if they're $1 a piece, if you're shooting one a day, in a month, if a steel plate is $30, if you shoot out every day, in a month that would pay for itself. I have a steel plate. I would just be crazy speculating at how many rounds were on that steel plate. It's just crazy. And unless you shoot it with a caliber that's too big for the steel plate rating, that thing, probably I could pass it down to my kids one day. God willing. Like that plate, I could leave it out for a year. I could drop it on the ground to pick it up a year later. I could shoot it. They're really good to have. And, you don't any longer have to special order them. You don't have to get them specially cut out and welded, or any kind of specialty thing. You can literally get them at Walmart, and you can get good stands that are smaller, cheaper, and better than anything that I was making just years ago. And one of the biggest things about shooting steel is the immediate visual auditory feedback. It's a positive reinforcement. It's literally like music to my ears. Like, I love hearing the sound of a good hit on a steel target. It's beautiful. And that's a good thing. Again, it's not best for everything, but steel is great to shoot at. I feel bad if you have to shoot at an indoor range. Indoor ranges have their place. But if you can get out and shoot steel, it's a lot more affordable than it's ever been. There's a lot more cheaper, more affordable options than there's ever been. It's just a really good thing to do and use. And I just wanted to kind of reflect on how far we've come in that, just in the gun culture in the past couple of years, especially the past 10 years. It's, when it happens in little increments and you don't really notice it, but when you look back, you're like, wow, how crazy that is. That not that long ago I had to go buy a sawhorse and chains and S-hooks and bolts. And I probably had to order online a steel gong and hang it and do all that work. So we've come a long way. Anyway, I just wanted to reflect on that and share that with you guys. Maybe it's time for you to get some steel targets or some more steel targets. Appreciate you guys listening, and have a blessed day.